Hey guys, and welcome back to Weekly Wine Comic Time, episode 11. I'm Christine.
And I'm Niko.
We'd like to thank everybody who's been listening ongoing week to week and kind of supporting us throughout the way and commenting and just showing us interest.
Yeah, no, we always do appreciate anybody who checks us out and joins in on the conversation with us as we read these things week to week.
Yeah, it's really appreciative, and it's something that's fun for us, so it's kind of cool to have you guys along with us.
Mm-hmm. And once again, it's your weekly reminder to check out the Late Night Chat network of podcasts where this show is on. I also do another comics podcast on there if comics is your interest, called Trade Talk, where I just kind of talk about the collected edition comics I read week to week, as well as our flagship show, The Late Night Chat with JT and Niko. That's where me and my co-host JT, we just talk about a random bunch of things, and we've recently launched a Late Night Chat Network YouTube account, so you can find that show. We're recording that show as well and posting that on there, and hopefully I'll be able to find some more comic content to put on there as well.
Yeah, and there's also a new Instagram as well, which JT has been very active on.
That's right. Yeah, that's the Late Night Chat Network Instagram account. So yeah, just search for the Late Night Chat Network. And
we'll have everything on the description.
Exactly. And for sure on there, I'll be posting more comic-related things as well on there. So yeah, you have that to look forward to.
It's been exciting.
All right, so without further ado, our wine picks of the night. These reds are going down quite nicely. I said to Christine earlier today, I'm enjoying it being fall again. It's red season once again.
Yep.
The summer's over, and I just think it takes better for me, which it's weird because I used to think I was more of a white wine drinker, but I don't know, the reds go down nicer, I think.
You've been switching over.
Yeah, I think it's just, is it less sugar? I don't know. I don't really know too much about that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, this is better for whatever reason, I find.
Yeah.
So tonight's picks were quite good. The first one here is one called Open, which we've had before. This is actually, we've had this quite a few times. This is one that we are...
it's been a while, though.
Yeah, it has been a while. It's a smooth red, and it's one of the Niagara Falls, Ontario wines.
Vineyards, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just your basic smooth red. It's a 2017 red wine, and
it's kind of like a table wine.
How much was this going for? $14?
It was $11, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know that they have a few more that are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, I think we maybe paid $11 or $12, I think, for it.
Okay. Yeah, I know, that's quite good. That one went down pretty nicely today.
Perfectly
we actually,
with our steak.
I was about to say, yeah, with their grilled steak, as they say on the bottle here, it goes well with. So we paired that together with that today, so that was good. Christine cooked up some steaks on the barbecue, and we had some garlic mash with that and asparagus. So it was a nice meal and time tonight reading comics and drinking some wine, which is why we do this. And then next up, we got one that we're just polishing off right now. This is Bodacious. This is their Cabernet Sauvignon. And this was like on sale, I think, right now it was like $10. As it says on the back here, it's bold, rich, ripe, robust, and with aromas of blackberry and blackcurrant. So yeah, this was a little bit of this is definitely a little bit of a darker red, I would say, in comparison to this smooth red. I like Cabernets. I think, Bodacious is pretty basic. I mean, it's not...
it's nothing too crazy, but it's a very good kind of daily wine.
Yeah, and like I said, the price is right, and basically... With these, I think we have had this one before, but, with these wine companies, they get smart and they start changing the labels on the bottle. So, like, you'll be in the wine store and you'll be like, oh, this looks new. I'll try this out. So you got to really look for the labels on the
I remember the
LCBO.
names of things,
Yeah.
which I don't. I always go by the labels, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this one.
Right, so, but it means one of two things if you are forgetting. It's one, you've been drinking too much, or two, they're just doing a good job of...
They're doing what they need to do.
Or I guess three, it's truly been too long since you've had that wine.
That's
so,
true,
yeah.
too. That's not as common for us.
I was about to say, I don't think this one is one that it's been too long since we've had, because it's a cheap, very common wine, but it looks like they've changed the label, so...
I think so.
Because I know that they had another...
I think they have a smooth red.
No, but they have another new red that just came out that was a...
the bourbon barreled one? We haven't had that one.
We haven't had as of yet, so... Maybe I look forward to that in a future episode. But
yeah,
now,
we'll try that one out.
Yeah, no, it's been quite good. It's been a good night overall.
And to continue with the feeling of goodness, let's start into our comics. I think it's my start this week, right?
I think it's mine, actually. I think the way it's ended up now is whoever talks about the wine also starts off with a comic reading, because I remember you were surprised at that last week.
Yeah. So you go ahead.
All right. Okay, first up, we got Batman number 78. This is written by Tom King. Clay Mann returned on art duties for this one, who I guess recently worked with Tom King on that Heroes in Crisis series.
Right.
He's drawn a bit of his Batman run as well at times. They're frequent collaborators at this point. I will say he did a great job in this issue. I think this was again, now we're at the point where we've panned away from the we are in the middle of this City of Bane storyline, but we kind of panned away with this issue where Catwoman kind of met back up with Bruce after betraying him, and him getting revealed after Bane broke the bat, essentially, that he was the one that pushed Catwoman into kind of starting up this whole, them getting married, romance, and this and that, and which she clearly admits to in this, and he's aware, but they're still madly in love with each other. This issue kind of let you know, like, they through their ups and downs of her being a on again off again bad guy, and him enjoying catching her in the act, and it's like this little fucking thing,
it's like a cat and mouse.
Well, essentially that's why. I mean, and I didn't mind it at first, but kind of at this point, even with this cat bat fucking, them calling each other these pet names, gets a little annoying sometimes after like him doing it several times in one issue. But I'm used to it by now. It's
I don't mind it as much. I've just gone with it at this point. It is what it is.
Oh, it's their little playful thing. I get it. I mean, he illustrates it quite well. I mean, at times I was looking to gag during this issue, because I'm like, oh, give me a break, because it was like a straight up romance issue essentially.
Yeah. Danielle Steele of Batman.
The one thing I didn't get though, or didn't find believable, I guess you can say, is the fact that Catwoman is the one who's essentially training him to come back from, him being broken and to become Batman, and like, just the things they're even doing in this issue, like she's like throwing a batarang at him, they're like climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
like
training.
I was just like, come on, man. I'm like, Catwoman's not gonna bring you back.
It's the most basic of basic training for him.
Like, I get it helps anybody who'd be there to support him, and someone he actually trusts, and it's this Batman who doesn't trust anybody, and even in light of all this shit, like, she basically said, like, she betrayed him, and like, he's acknowledging that, like, you know what I mean, like, it doesn't seem like he's still kind of just still in love with her, so he's kind of given in, right, to kind of this whole
he's basically just like given into it and given up.
But I will say, like, I did like them showing them when they did go to bed in separate rooms. Like, they were making it very, like, they were trying consciously not to, like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't go out and say that, but if you're watching the scene, they're talking to each other through
a wall.
Yeah, so I liked that. I liked some of the moments in this issue, some of the setup. And, I mean, Clay Mann, he's the guy you need to bring back for this type of story, because he draws sexy people. I mean, he draws a sexy, shirtless Batman. She looks... Hey, listen, I started off with him. I mean, he was chiseled in this. He was, but she's... There's a scene where she's walking away, and there's the bartender, and he's dressed up like... Again, he's looking like Magnum P.I. in this one, with the mustache. he's got, like, the Matches Malone kind of, like, costume on, because he refers to himself as Matches at one point. But he looks hilarious with the hat and the fucking glasses and the mustache. And
The stash is the
but when
worst.
she walks away from that bar, and that guy's like, "Bruh," like the way the bartender's
Bruh,
like, he actually
is
says,
that your wife?
yeah, he actually says that. He's like, "Bruh," and then like he's just watching her walk away. That was like, oh yeah. He's just like, yeah, I mean,
She's with
yeah,
me.
she's drop dead gorgeous in this. So like, yeah, this was a good choice to bring Clayman in here for this, and he looked great in this issue. I thought the art was good. But you know, I gave it a 4 just because this is all it was. Like, I want him, and I get it. This is again about the rise and fall of a character, you know, which we're very used to at this point. If you've read Batman or any of these superhero type of comics, they gotta break them down to build them back up, and essentially that is what's going on right here.
Yeah.
But this was a nice little side moment, I think, outside of the main storyline. You know, it wasn't confusing. It gave me something to actually grasp onto, like actual
light.
story progression is in a way, like even
Yeah.
though like you spent the whole issue of them
On a
just
beach.
chatting back and forth with each other, it kind of felt like, okay,
It was
there's
light and frothy.
yeah, but it was like it felt like there's reasoning behind
Yeah.
this, like, right? So anyways, I gave it a 4. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I also gave this one a 4. I just feel like we've read this before. I know, obviously, in a different context, but
Yes.
this is like we basically just changed the version. And
I mean, during
the
this run,
reasoning.
we've read this before. The only
That's what I
difference now
mean.
is, yeah, he's not where he was previously. Where
Yeah, now he's down.
He's a shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a broken. Yeah.
but we've essentially been here
Yeah.
already. But I did enjoy it. I liked it. The art, like you said, was really great. One thing you failed to mention was this is issue number 78.
I did mention it, actually. Rewind the tape. I'll stop us right now to show you I did say it, but nice try.
I can only try.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gave this a 4. It was fun.
She's just saying that because I give her a hard time for missing the issue
numbers every time.
But I'm trying to write out these show notes, people. Like, it's hard. Like, she doesn't mention it. I'm listening back. I'm like, fuck. All right.
So on to the next book here. I have Young Justice. This is issue number 8. And this is by Brian Bendis with art by, I should know this, John Timms. And John Timms was the one that did Harley previously, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So I really liked this art. I liked him on Harley. I think he draws these type of teen characters very well. So he can do very good action moments, but also just very good kind of simple character moments. But this, I liked it. They're on, basically the Young Justice team is on Earth 3, which is, they're meeting all of themselves, but in evil versions on this world. And they've got to kind of, you know, prove their worth and prove who they are, and nobody's trusting them, and they've got to kind of work through that. I did like the characters that kind of showed up at the end there. I thought was pretty cool. And they need to basically get back to their Earth. And
Yeah.
that's essentially all this one was. It wasn't too meaty or anything like that. You had a lot of dialogue between characters. But yeah, I thought it moved the story along pretty well. I gave this one a 4.
Okay. Yeah, that I was basically gonna highlight the fact that I don't think John Timms has ever looked better. I mean,
Yeah.
he was great on Harley, but he is
looks
excelled
really good.
in this book. Yeah, I mean, this is a team book. He's drawing a lot of characters. He's definitely very stylized, but everyone looks great. Great action like very dynamic kind of movement going on in the I love his Superboy.
A lot of good panels.
Panel
layouts.
Yeah, I love his Superboy. I'm a big fan of the Superboy from that era.
Yeah.
With the leather jacket, and I know some people hate on that 90s shit, but I'm a big fan of that because that's around when I started reading comics, right? So
Nostalgia.
yeah, essentially, yeah. Like, because basically I started really getting into it around the death of Superman. So, like, at the time after he had died, those were the books that were on the shelf. Superboy was a popular title for that period of time, right? But yeah, I mean, like you said, like, this is basically, they're stuck in the third, I think, dimension.
Earth 3.
Yeah. And this is the one with the, the crime syndicate, which if you read any of, like, some of the other Justice League stuff, the Earth 2 crime syndicate book, like, it's mentioned that this is, like, I guess, this is another evil team. This is essentially like the bad Young Justice in this world that they've encountered in the crime syndicate.
They're all fighting each other, just their evil versions.
Every issue lately has been fun because they've been kind of time hopping through these couple of different Earths. The last couple of issues, which I'm always a fan of. Like, I know that's an overused trope sometimes with these books, but like if you have the DC universe and they've established that there's 52 different Earths now at this point, like
you might as well use it.
You might as well play with it. So like it's fun. It
keeps the story fresh.
I've certainly enjoyed this arc more than I did the first one because it was very slow. The first one,
I agree.
A lot of setup.
On Gem World,
the team didn't really get together essentially until the end of that arc. Like fully, right. Which that happens in these team books. I get it, but it's always like a slog to get through. So
and now that they're here, you actually get just straight action right from the get go.
Yeah, they're off to the races here. So you kind of are like you get your basic like good version versus bad version fucking fight in this book. So it was essentially a lot of Bendis dialogue and fighting in this. So, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I also gave it a 4. Nice. This is I almost dropped this after that first arc, but I'm glad we stuck with it.
We kept with it.
Yeah. All right, so next up on the list, we got King Thor. This is number 1 of a 4-issue miniseries. Ending out Jason Aaron's 7 years on the title. That's from one title to the next.
7 years
for Thor. I think it relaunched like 4 different times because you had your original run on Thor with Esad Ribic, who did the original Gore the God Butcher arc, who's returned now on art on this issue. And even the inker, I believe, is the inker is the colorist. Is the color artist. I don't know how to say this fucking guy's name. For Cena, but it's worth mentioning because he was the same colorist with Esad Ribic on the original 25 issues.
I didn't know that.
Or, sorry, I guess 12 issues of Thor with Jason Aaron. Yeah, original God Butcher arc. This felt right. I mean, having Esad Ribic back, he started this fucking 7-year run with him for the first 12 issues. He's come back to end it with him, and having him do the King Thor stuff is great. I mean, if you've read any of other Jason... This is, by the way, this is not a good... I mean, I'm sure you can read this, but...
It's not a great jumping on point.
I wouldn't say so. You can read this and understand it, but
you're losing a lot.
Yeah, this is the last 4 issues of, like I said, a 7-year run. And we're talking about, like, multiple different miniseries that he did and main series. So, like, this is...
and like jumping through events too.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like he did that Thor's miniseries that was going on through Secret Wars.
We just did.
He had the Unworthy Thor miniseries that was going on at the same time. Jane Foster was Thor.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had the whole Jane Foster Thor run, which we launched twice. You had 2 series of her, 2 series of this Thor. Yeah, I mean,
it was nuts.
Yeah, but it was all good stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's time. Like I don't think he needs to be on the book any longer. But I mean, this is one of those titles where like it's not ending because it's been bad. Like he's ending on his own terms.
Yeah, his story's done.
Yeah, it's not like he's kind of getting rushed off the book. No, this is like I would be fine with if he continued it. But yeah, it's time now after War of the Realms.
I'd like to see him do something else
with Thor.
No, just in general. I'd like to see what he does next.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, you have Thor's daughters in this, which were established within the main Thor series. You even get them talking to the librarian, who was actually part of the first Thor series as well. The same Thor series that introduced Gore the God Butcher in it. And spoilers, like by the end of this issue, he shows back up. But throughout most of this issue, though, he's actually dealing with Loki, like King Future Thor, like now that he's kind of at the end of Jason Aaron's like current Thor run, where present day Thor that we know in the Marvel universe is now the new Odin's son. Essentially, his father stepped down. This is them just flashing forward to the future and showing that now that he's been king, like he's lost an arm, like he's been
been through the ringer.
Yeah, and the world's essentially been desolated. Like and I guess the only thing that's living, or one of the only things that's living, is I guess he remade like his own kind of Earth essentially. Yeah. But yeah, majority of this issue before Gore shows up at the end, he's actually at this point in time fighting Loki, who's like straight up fucking evil in this. Yeah. Like, I mean, Loki is always on again, off again as well. Like, you don't know where he's coming from with most of the time. Like, he does a lot of bad shit. But like at times he helps him out, and then they always have that kind of relationship with each other. But like he's he's pretty fucking bad in this. Like, I think this is
saying in this,
but that's what I mean. Like, this is probably the darkest he's been throughout the whole run.
Yeah.
On. So, like, obviously some
easily.
shit happened from present day to this future kind of storyline.
That's
right?
really made everything
to make him this way. But now he's also affected by the Necro Sword. He's wielding that, which was a concept first introduced several years ago in Thor with the God Butcher, Thor. And Donny Cates picked up on that thing recently and actually attached it to Null, the symbiote god, having that after the fact, which is now in one of the other books that we're going to be talking about later tonight as well. So this is like a well-known entity now in the Marvel Universe. But yeah,
I never pieced that together.
Yeah, that's where Donny Cates got it from. It was from Jason Aaron's idea. Like, that was a new concept. He kind of took that.
Yeah.
And they even reference it in this issue.
No, I know they reference it there. I just didn't piece it into.
They said, well, they're like, yeah, Gore had it, then Null had it. Then he said, like, and then he said that.
I keep forgetting who Null is.
Yeah. And then they mentioned a couple other people that welded.
Yeah.
Galactus had it, and then he said that fucking what's his name? That planet had it.
Ego.
Yeah, thank you. Which actually that also happened in this Thor series, I believe. I think it was either that or maybe something Donny Cates did.
Ego was in.
I think it was in one of the Thor annuals or something like that. If not, it was maybe in the guard. It was maybe something Donny Cates did then.
Maybe.
Anyways.
Tangent.
Yeah. Anyways, this is great. I mean, it just felt right. I mean, there was nothing over the top, I guess, about this issue other than maybe like the reveal at the end, but we all knew it was coming. Like, it was talked about, I think, before this even came out. You knew that there was no way he was going to end this story and not bring that character back, which started this all.
Without him,
because that's essentially what it kind of like. He even when he walks up to them at the end of this issue, Gore, he says that he's like, "Look at this. The world's gone to shit, and you have you two idiots fighting each other. Like, this is why gods are selfish. This is why
all gods must die."
Right. Which is originally what the
issue was. Yeah.
Well, the whole arc, it was about like people's faith in having gods and stuff like that, and how it's broken, and what it was kind of his treatise on religion. A lot of it, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I give it a 5. I really enjoyed it. I was happy to be back, and I think it's going to be ending on a great note.
Great in what relative term? No, I loved this as well. I really liked the start of this. I've really enjoyed his Thor run the entire way. It's weird to see it coming to an end. Because we've been reading his Thor essentially almost the entire time we've been reading comics together.
I know.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
No, I gave this a 5 as well. I thought it was really good. There's not much more I can touch on.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe I forgot to mention this. There's an awesome part in this where Loki rips out his intestine with this and then Thor starts choking him with it, and then attaches it to his hammer and throws it into the fucking sun with him attached to it. So his intestine just goes for a ride. He's just like, he's like, yeah, I can give this up. And
That's true.
He wraps it around his neck.
Right here.
But it's not like anything in the text says that.
No, it's just you have to watch the art.
Yeah. Oh man, that was crazy. I see. I gotta make notice of these things to remember when we're actually like, when we go to record.
Sit down and talk about
after I read it, I was like, oh man, that was badass. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So the next book we have here is Daredevil, issue number 11, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by, I hate when they don't have a title page.
Oh, Marco Cicchetto's back.
Yes.
Yeah. The original artist on the book. Yeah.
I hate trying to find the title pages for things.
This one actually failed to have one at the start. Yeah, that's the thing. Not all comics are set up the same way, and that's what sucks about it.
Sometimes they're at the very end. Yeah. Sometimes it's 4 pages in.
I've heard that digital readers find that very infuriating because digital readers are expecting to kind of get that information right
away.
And I've heard other reviewers mention that as well, because if they are sitting there trying to go over the book while they're actually reviewing it on a podcast, they got to do the same thing. They got to click right to the fucking end as a result of that. Because sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes it's in the end.
Yeah, you can't just flip.
It should always be in the same place. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think I liked this issue. I didn't love it, but it was a good issue. I thought that, you do see a Daredevil in this, but then you find out it's obviously not Matt Murdock, and he's still in his white garments with Elektra at the beginning. And then she offers basically to be What's that guy's name again? I want to say
Stick.
I was going to say Strike.
Yeah.
Not right.
Yeah, she offered to retrain him.
Yeah. So to be his stick again, basically.
Yeah.
He denied that, and then you get this whole that cop that's in this is on his mission to catch him.
Yeah.
And he puts up this whole fake robbery and ends up catching Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny. I gave this a 4.
Well, or Spider-Man catches him and teaches him a lesson, and as a result, yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I gave this a 4. I thought it was good.
Yeah. I agree. I also gave this a 4. It was nice to see Marco Cicchetto back, although I don't know if this is... I don't know if something was different about this. This didn't look like his best work for whatever reason, and it's weird because
it all seemed very kind of just like meh across the board.
I just felt like
it was good.
The other issues he had done already for the series looked better than this for whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just because he didn't get to draw a lot of
the normal type of
like
Daredevil that he gets to draw.
Right. I mean, he draws a great Spider-Man and stuff. It didn't look bad. Don't get me wrong. Just for whatever reason, I thought something was a little bit off. Here's my issue with this, which is why I gave it a 4. There's a lot of interesting things going on in this book, but he has a lot of balls in the air right now.
Yeah.
And I think he has to resolve some of these things
before they can
because I think unless he's... You know what I mean? I think it's just going to be too messy. Like, for
it's going to get very convoluted. Like, it already kind of is.
Yes, it's starting to be.
Yeah.
Because, like, look at all the different things he's going. He's got a cop storyline going on. He's got the Daredevil storyline going on. There's other people being Daredevil storyline going on. There's
and you've
the
got
Kingpin thing going on.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a bad thing. In a comic, you should have multiple different storylines
but you
weaving
need
together.
some resolution in between for certain things when you're bringing in new things.
Yeah, like someone who's done it quite well, I would say, is Nick Spencer in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of different things going on at the same time, but he shifts the focus.
And he pieces, or he'll pause something and bring something else in for a story, whereas this is like 4 pages of everything.
Everything's going on at once, and I don't know if that's because, Chip Zdarsky, is newer to writing, I would say. It's not like he's new to writing. He's been writing a lot of great stuff, and for a little while
but newer
now,
to this style.
Maybe.
And darker.
Yeah. I don't know. It just...
Because he was doing... I loved it up until... Like, right now, it's just getting a little bit...
Yeah. Again, it's not a huge complaint. It's just like, I think that's why, for me, this particular issue, I was just like...
It was good.
Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't
great.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. I just think the things that have been building, that have been leading up till now... He needs to kind of focus on resolving some of these things now. So
for sure.
But there's a lot of interesting stuff going on.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So next up, I got Batman Universe number 3. This is written by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Nick Darrington. I mean, anytime this series comes out, I'll tell you right now, and I may have already said it on the show before. I love this book, and it's always in contention of being a pick of the week for me. Any week it comes out. This is a fun fucking book, man. Nick Darrington is killing it on art because of the fashion that it was. Like with the Tom King books as well, like because they were those Walmart books.
Yeah.
How those are kind of, this is an oversized issue, all of these. This and the Superman Up in the Sky. And the Superman, the same thing. You get 2 different stories of him going to 2 different kind of like scenarios because of they were serialized in the Walmart comics. So you got these 8, like whatever, how many pages these stories are. These were in 2 separate issues in Walmart stuff, but in this you're getting them in one.
Them together.
Exactly. So, like, the fact that every issue he's basically going to, like, 2 different areas of the DC universe and, like, mixing it up with numerous different DC characters in each one, it makes it for a hell of a fun ride for me. I love it. This is probably my... I mean, even if you're not a fan of Batman, Bendis is writing a great, fun Batman book here. I mean, even if you're like, you're not really into like some of the dark elements or like the detective
this
aspect.
Is out of continuity, so it's just fun.
Exactly. Yeah, he is basically just trying to solve a mystery, going to all ends of the DCU. I mean, he starts off in Thanagar at the start of this issue, and by the end of it, he's with Jonah Hex back in the 1800s. Yeah. So, like, that just kind of goes to show you, like...
And he went to about 4 different places in between.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they go to Dinosaur Island. Okay, so moment of the week for me. moment of the week for me. Where they go to Dinosaur Island and there's this fucking gorgeous 2-page spread by Nick Darrington.
Yeah.
Who's got a lot of, like, I didn't realize it at first, but there's a lot of, like, Darwin Cook influences in his art. He definitely has some of that. And I might just be thinking of that because I believe they're in Dinosaur Island in the in New Frontier that Darwin Cook did as well.
I haven't read that one, actually.
Yeah,
I know. I know.
Great. Anyways, this isn't about New Frontier.
I know.
But as soon as he shows up, Batman's like, I love dinosaurs. And
I knew you were gonna
him
like
and Hal
that.
Jordan and Green Lantern are talking, and he's like, I love dinosaurs. He's like, you do? He's like, of course I do. And he's like, Batman loves dinosaurs. Like, he just, like, proclaims it.
Like,
He's
I
like,
have one in the back.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, and then they went and they're like, you never invite me over to your house.
He's like,
I've never got the invite.
Batman's like, do you have a nice house? He's like, better than yours? No. He's like, stately Wayne Manor. Yeah. It was funny. They're like, why are we arguing about this? As they're like, they're trying to fight dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I loved that moment. I mean, I also love dinosaurs, so that kind of
it hit the spot.
Yeah. I'm just giddy right now talking about it. It's so much fun. That's all I wanted to mention.
So I gather this is a 5 for dinosaurs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a 5 for me too. I this one, I like the layout and the flow of this one so much better than the Superman one.
Yes.
The Superman one, like, I didn't love the last issue. But like this just flows. It didn't feel like two different sections.
Where in the Superman,
Superman one, you're like, oh my god, like two complete, and there was no flow to it either.
It's very apparent that it's two in that one. You're right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I like the layout of this. I like the flow of this. The art is great. Even when you said he has like Darwin, some of the faces remind me of like All Red as well.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
All reddish.
Yeah, actually, that panel in particular that you're pointing at right now, it looks very all reddish. Yeah.
Just the facial features and everything like that, which, to be compared to those two.
Nice catch. Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I mean, they're both very clean line, very pop arty styles.
Exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I gave this a 5 as well. This was just absolute fun.
It's just pure fun.
And it's nice after you read some dark DC sometimes, and you're like, geez, this was a nice, lighthearted story.
Yeah.
So we'll start next with The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 29. This is by Nick Spencer, and art is by Francesco Manna. So this issue was real good. I like this. It has started off with you find out that MJ's leaving for an actor job.
Movie role.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was like a movie or if it was a play or something like that. I think it was more play. Because she said that the director was going, like, if the director ruins the set or something like that, they're going to have...
Oh, okay. That's right. That's from the last, that storyline with the Beetle. That's right. It was a play. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, she's going off. She's leaving for 2 months, and Peter's trying to be super supportive, even though they finally got back together. He doesn't want to lose her, and he goes to, like, a lot of internal turmoil, and then he's like, okay, like, I need one more errand. He needs to go talk to his Aunt May, and then as he's going, you get all this internal monologue going on saying, you know, something bad is going to happen. Something always happens. Every time I leave or anytime I have somewhere to go, something comes up and I end up being late or I end up letting her down. And you can tell he's really, really struggling with everything. And then lo and behold, something happens and his sister, which I don't recall. When did his sister show up?
I was going to say that. I don't know where that's from. I've been reading Amazing Spider-Man throughout Dan Slott's run previous to Nick Spencer's, so unless it happened in one of these side series that they've done of Spider-Man, I have no clue where that's from. I'm
okay, because I was so thrown off by that.
And they didn't even put an editor's note like they sometimes do, where they're like, read this. Like, I was just
here.
I was like, that definitely didn't happen in this series. I don't recall that at all.
I was like, I've been reading this and I remember
Unless
it, but...
we both have forgotten. I'll have to do some research into that, because even me, I was like, who?
Yeah. I was like, well, this is weird.
Well, I do know about his parents previously. Like, they did find out a long time ago in the comics that they were spies, and, like, the way they had died, which wasn't known to him, like...
Yeah.
Was that they died as they were being spies, and then they were thought to be dead for a while, and then they actually came back. Like, this is all like
a whole
90s shenanigan type shit, right? So maybe he's picking up on something from back in the day that I don't recall, because I know the thing about the parents, but I had no clue anything about him having a sister.
Yeah, that was...
And I haven't read all that, to be fair, so I just, it's possible.
It just threw me for a loop, and I just kind of went with it, and this was still an excellent book. Then you find out, like, you're in with the chameleon, because of course he has to go if lives are at stake, and MJ really does understand. And then at the very end, oh my god, it was so heartbreaking.
Are you gonna say what happened?
No, I'll leave that, but it's heartbreaking.
So what'd you give it?
I gave it a 5.
Okay, I gave it slightly lower. I gave it a 4.5. I just, in comparison to some of the other books I had read this week, I didn't.
I guess I also read that first.
Mm-hmm. For me, I just didn't give it a 5 because it didn't pair up to some of the other books. But I certainly really enjoyed it. This is a new artist to the title too. I don't think they've done any issues of this series as of yet, but the art looked good. I liked it. There was nothing wrong with it. I wouldn't say it's super stylistic or anything, but there were moments where they definitely played with shading a little bit. So, like, I seen, like, there was moments, like certain scenes where they kind of changed up their style a little bit, which was interesting.
Yeah, like when Chameleon came into play, it got very deep and dark. And
which was interesting to see. But just your regular grade A kind of comic book kind of art. Like, this is like...
they haven't really made their own kind of way yet or style yet.
Yeah, but sometimes that's people's, style. Like the house style, right?
I know.
But yeah, I mean, the art was fine, and the story was good. I don't really have too much to add other than what you said. Like I said, that ending scene was pretty heartbreaking. But again, if you've read a lot of Spider-Man, you know these tropes. He's been through these things with Mary Jane before.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks because, like, he's always going to do the right thing and go help people and step away from that situation. Yeah. But at the same time...
Think about other people before himself.
Right. But Nick Spencer, at the same time, is kind of doing a really good job, I think, of putting you in these people's shoes and saying, like, listen, like, would you put up with this in a relationship? Yeah. Because, like, it is hard. And
how much would you really deal with?
Right. And not only that, it's like, we all know he's going to do that. Like, even they know that he's going to do that as characters.
He's done a very good job doing the inner monologues of all the characters and showing their internal...
struggle with this. Yeah. So I give it a 4.5. Yeah, very good. Next up, we got Black Hammer Justice League, number 3. This is written by Jeff Lemire, art by Michael Walsh. Yeah, this is a lot of fun as well. Again, my favorite moments in this were because the first 3 pages you get like a back and forth like interrogation cells of like them and each other's like the Black Hammer people in the Justice League DCU, and being interrogated by them. But then you get like the different scenes of different people interrogating different people, and then you got what's her name, like going crazy over
Aquaman.
Yeah. Golden Gale going crazy over Aquaman. She's like,
you can bring him back.
He's like, you go ahead and play hard to get fish, man. I like it. She like winks at him. He's like, please stop staring at me like that, because like, even though she's a grown woman and she's like a child,
12, like, of course it's awkward.
I'm glad they picked up on that joke again from the last issue, and they've kept that going. And then the next scene with them, you see Martian Manhunter's in there, and then he's like, no, I will not bring Aquaman back. And then
she's like, that's okay, big boy. I like bald heads too.
And then you got Barbalian, who's making fun of Martian Manhunter, and he transforms into Martian Manhunter, and he's like, oh, look at me, I'm the stereotypical green alien, or something like that.
I'm the green Martian.
Yeah, and then referring to him as a Martian, he's like, he's not a Martian. Martians are green, because in their world they look like Barbalian. So yeah, it was for those moments alone, those first 3 pages, I'm like, this is great. Yeah, that's all I wanted. This is all I ever wanted from this book, was to see these characters.
That's all you expected. That's all I wanted to.
Yeah, and then you got Then you got Colonel Weird and Green Lantern kind of going through the Parazone and like seeing like all the different kind of
realities and past things that have happened.
Yeah, and then my favorite scene of the issue, other than them just chatting at the start of this, was when Zatanna showed up with Golden Gale. And Michael Walsh killed this picture of Zatanna. He draws a great Zatanna. I mean, she shows up the classic fishnets and the
top hat with just the little white shirt.
That one page kind of spread there of her when she shows up and she's talking backwards to her and like the lightning kind of goes off in the background. Great image. Yeah,
great visuals there for sure.
So yeah, that was great too. And I guess I won't spoil the ending, but Zatanna kind of helps Golden Gale in a way, and there's like a big revelation with that character at the end of this. So I give it a 5. I have a lot of fun with this series.
Yeah, I know. This was so much fun. This is kind of what like the first 2 issues I liked, but this really kind of hit it home where I kind of wanted it to be. Now they've both basically settled into where they needed to be, and just their interactions with each other are so good. I also gave this a 5. I thought this was so much fun.
I mean, as he should. I think that the balance, though, is he's certainly spending more time and having more fun with his characters in the DC universe.
Well, yeah, they're new characters rather than
the focus should be on them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you get a few pages always of the DC guys in Black Hammer's universe, and it seems like they just resurrected Walkie Talkie in this, or Talkie Walkie. That's his name, right? Yeah. So it looks like they're gonna gonna
figure out a little bit more about obviously the Black Hammer universe.
But that's the less interesting. That's
4 pages.
That's the less interesting story out of the 2.
Now,
I mean, you're buying into this for the Black Hammer characters, not the DC characters.
For sure, because you don't get a lot. This is all new to them. Justice League has been around for forever, so you might as well use their characters.
And of course, Jeff Lemire is going to use that time for his characters to play around with these characters.
Of course,
he's not gonna. He can write a book for DC and write these other characters for DC, right? But this is his property,
his chance to actually do it and do it up the way he wants to.
So he's doing it.
So good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I gave this a 5. Okay. I really enjoyed that as well. So my next book is Venom issue number 18, written by Donny Cates and art by Ivan Coelho,
I think. Yeah.
Coelho?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that.
I don't know. My guess is as good as yours, but I think it's Coelho.
Coelho. Yeah. That sounds right. This one I thought was very good too. You actually didn't get any time frame with actual Eddie Brock in this.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I actually appreciated that in this issue. You got his son, who doesn't know it's his son. And what's the guy's name? The Master?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have him and the Master and this other kid, and Eddie's son is just standing...
The evil Ultimate Universe's Reed Richards, essentially,
but yeah, he's standing up for his friend that he's made here, and,
the Maker. Sorry, not the Master. It's
the Maker.
Yeah. I was like, that kind of sounds right, but yeah.
But not quite.
The Maker, yeah.
I'm just like, yep, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm good. But yeah, no. I like that he's very gung-ho. He sticks to his guns. He doesn't really know, he doesn't know anything that's really going on. He's come into contact with these weird, obviously all the symbiotes are there, and they just fought off all of those in the last issue. And then he lets them all go to help save his friend, and they all end up attaching themselves to the Maker.
Eddie's son fucks up big time in this issue.
Holy shit. Yeah. And he tried so hard, which,
but he
as a kid, you're like,
time.
I'm great. I'm doing the right thing. I'm scared shitless, but this is what I'm doing. This is the right thing to do. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That was not good. Yeah. But then you find out something about him, which you still don't really know. Yeah, he doesn't really know.
I think it's because he's his son. He has the Codex already in him, so I think that's why they're going after him. But I think that he's essentially.
But they didn't know they were going after him. They thought he was going after the friend.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm excited to find out more.
Yeah.
I give this a 5. I had a lot of fun with this issue actually.
I gave it a 4.5, and I agree with you though because I felt that it was very unexpected. I didn't think that some of the choices and things that occurred in this issue were very unexpected, and like I was surprised that he made some. Like I did not see the thing coming with the Maker that happened to him. I thought that his son pissed me off a little bit, to be honest, just because I'm like, you fucked up big. I know he's a kid, but like,
I didn't really get pissed off because he was really trying. And he thought,
no, I was just pissed off. I'm like, man, you fucked up.
Well,
like, and I get it. The Maker is kind of evil, and it's weird because he's written him so well in this that it's that fine line. Like, you know, he's up to no good, but at the same time, he is making solid, smart decisions. Like, yes, of course you would put these things but like he's enjoying the people being in pain, like as he's removing them from him. Like,
it's very like sadistic.
Yes, but at the same time, like he's making the right choices. Like, you should separate the symbiotes from them. Like, they should be
they
in there.
Shouldn't be separate.
Like, I get it. Like, he had a moment with this one, and it was friendly and blah blah blah. But like,
so he
you know,
trusted it and whatever.
That's what I mean. Like, so I think it's like he's writing a very good character in that sense.
He's
like,
writing very good characters because even the kid's characteristics.
Kid was great in this too.
Yeah,
this was a great tie-in. Yeah, I agree. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 5 as well. Yeah, you convinced me. Because I'm like, I was trying to justify like why maybe there was a reason why I gave this a 4.5, but this actually beat my expectations going into it. Like, I was just like, okay, this will be all right.
It's gonna be another tie-in.
Right?
Da-da-da-da-da.
No, you're right. There was a lot of interesting things going on in this issue that I really appreciated. So yeah, I give it a 5 as well.
Nice.
I agree. All right, so Powers of X. This is my last issue of the night. This is number 4, written by Jonathan Hickman, art by who's doing this one? R.B. Silva. I mean, I'll start off by saying R.B. Silva, as always, looked great in this. He's been killing it in this series. Both the artists that he's been working with have done a great job. I don't know how far ahead these guys were drawing these comics.
I don't know, but they look fantastic.
I mean, but for the schedule that they've had, I'm sure they had this already all
weekly. They had to have had them.
Yeah. Well, it's it'd be two issues a month, oversized though, essentially. So
oversized,
that's a
and
lot.
some of them were coming out back to back.
They must have been, but that's what I mean. Like, they must have already had these all finished before they put these out, because like the quality is not wavering in any of these. So it's not like you could tell they were rushed at certain points. It looks great. I mean, I really enjoyed this issue. This is actually probably my favorite issue of Powers of X, because they focus mainly on one timeline, like the current timeline, I guess, or the start of this.
Yeah, the first timeline.
Yeah, I mean, it's Moira's 10th life, but it's the timeline that we're in right now with House of X, essentially. Yes. But this is at the start of it, not like we're at, because we're a bit fast forwarded from this time in the first year of House of X, like in the current book in House of X.
Yes.
But yeah, listen, that last part though, with that fucking 1,000 years in future, I have no clue what the fuck's going on there.
Okay, good, because
believe me, I read that part twice, and I understand, like, the only thing I understand, like, these are some crazy beings that are they're trying to bring these people like to ascension, like trying to like elevate them as a society, and they've merged with machines or something like that. Like, I don't know. So that's,
I really gotta just read this when it all comes out and all together.
Yeah, Hickman, this 1,000 year in the future shit is totally like, I can't.
He has a plan, and I'm sure it'll work out, but I'm lost.
Yeah, no, that part I was for sure lost in this issue with, and I read it twice. So, anyways. But it's okay. I mean, like I said, that's 1,000 years in the future. It may not be as relevant to us at this point in time, and I've just been enjoying everything in the now.
Exactly.
This Mr. Sinister scene, though, was fantastic. I love this fucking scene. Like, he basically... there's this great scene with Magneto and Charles trying to get see Mr. Sinister, and Mr. Sinister is a guy who is a mutant who basically plays with, like, making clones, like, out of DNA, people's DNA and stuff like that, which, if you didn't really know the character, and I don't think you have right, I think he did a pretty good job with
I pretty much understood, like, I don't know all his tropes and stuff, but I got that he has clones, and
but like the cool thing about that is like the guy that let them in to see Sinister looked like a Sinister, and then like the people that were all sitting with him in the throne room all looked like them, and to the point where he even he didn't want to go along with Charles's plan, the guy that was sitting on the throne, and another one of the Sinisters, the one who has the mutant gene in him, kills him and takes over, and he's like, well,
you're done.
He's like, I like your plan. He's like, he just shoots him in the head. I was just like, that's awesome. The other part that was kind of weird though was these Sinister secret pages.
Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck.
It almost felt like a gossip magazine or
Yeah.
something. It was like these are
Gossip column.
yeah, like it kind of cut to 2 pages after the Sinister scene where it kind of broke down. Maybe these are all going to come to fruition. Like these are
possible.
It's
yeah.
interesting because there was like about these 10 Sinister secrets that were written down, and like because it says the Red Diamond, all the best news and gossip from Bar Sinister. So I'm guessing this is like a gossip column for like
this world of Sinisters.
Yes, exactly. So then, like, you have Sinister Secret number 1, and it's all very vague, and they're referring to different characters, and if you know your X-Men, you will pick up on some of them. Some of them I didn't understand. Some of them we may not be made to understand, but, like, some of them was, like, the red-haired girl that, like, well, and they're talking about Jean, and one of them's talking about the guy who's the best at what he does, and they're talking about Wolverine there.
Yeah.
Like, so things like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll kind of pick up on certain things. And then, yeah, you got a great scene about the starting of Krakoa. Basically, he took Cypher, who, you know, most people will know him from X Factor. That's where he's from. You've read some X Factor, so
that's where he's from.
Cypher, he shows how he basically brought him to Krakoa previous to all of the team going there and helping, and because he can talk to machines and talk to all kinds of different things in different languages, he helps him establish the base so then when people go there they can actually talk to Krakoa directly instead of him being the person in between helping them communicate.
Yeah, so, like just with
and basic. Then you get like a graph that shows like a few different people's purpose of how they help run Krakoa. Yeah. So it's just seeing the seeds of this stuff starting out for things we've already seen in the House of X book, but now kind of giving a little bit more context into it. Everything's kind of coming around. Like it's you're seeing it now as we're halfway through these miniseries that there's a lot of threads now being tied together
and tied in between each other.
I'm appreciating that much more each issue. So yeah, I give this a 5. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next issue.
What was that guy's name again? Cypher?
Cypher, yeah.
I was sitting there, I'm like, I know this. Yeah. Where do I know this?
Yeah, well, you read that little bit of the all-new X Factor series?
Yeah. I could not piece where I knew it from.
He's the guy that actually, there's that other big yellow, black machine. Yeah, he's the guy who says friend self, like, that's or all that kind of stuff. Like, he talks all cryptic.
I like that guy.
Yes, he's, who I'm blanking on his fucking name right now, but he was part of the New Mutants. Cypher actually might have been part of the New Mutants originally too, and anyways, in that book they were part of X Factor though. The one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Okay, that makes so much more sense. Yeah, no. So I've learned to just, even if I feel stupid, I appreciate it. Even if I don't know what's going on, I still appreciate it because there's a lot of things that are happening that I feel like Hickman is very good at letting you know later, or it will come to be known when he wants you to actually know it. So once I've kind of grasped that, I enjoy these books so much more. So yeah, I also gave this a 5. I really did enjoy this. I thought the pieces that he's laying out and everything like that is actually getting very interesting, and I'm really excited to see how this all comes to be.
Yeah.
So my last book and the last book of the evening is Silver Surfer Black. This is issue number 4, written by Donny Cates and art by Tradd Moore. I don't need to gush over Tradd Moore anymore because I do every time. That hasn't changed at all in this book. That's for damn sure.
Although the last issue, I recall you saying that you didn't feel it was his best work or that he wasn't right for this title, which that we've both kind of said throughout the whole thing.
But still, I can always appreciate his art. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things.
That's undeniable, yeah.
But yeah, like if he's right for a book or not, that's different. But this issue, I actually really liked it. I thought this was really good. So this one, he is the outcome of his whole saving Ego and helping Ego. And now he's holding Galactus in this, like, prison box. And he's being, like, overcome by this black version that's infecting him, basically.
The Necro sword. That's the Necro.
Yes. Yeah. But, and then I feel like you would have really liked this. I was reading, I'm like, Niko's gonna love this! Uatu comes in!
Yeah, the Watcher. I have a big mark for the Watcher. Whenever he shows up, I'm like, ooh, the Watcher!
He could literally just be in a corner in a panel doing absolutely nothing. He's like, I love it!
Yeah. Meanwhile, like, most other people are like, oh, the Watcher.
Yeah. So So I thought that was kind of funny. That just popped into my head as soon as I read his name. I'm like,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But yeah, and he has a whole conversation with
And he
him.
draws an awesome Watcher.
He does.
He's so weird looking.
Yeah, he's all like weird and bobbly.
Yeah.
The next few pages after talking to the Watcher, holy shit.
Yeah.
Everything I said about last issue, fucking take it back. And this was phenomenal. Like, you go through and he's having this whole like conversation, and he's this like crazy, all these white animals, where Galactus is all these black and red, very dark animals, and it's like a conglomeration of just awesomeness. There's a dolphin, there's snakes, there's friggin' elk.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah, because he's not showing him his true form, so there's like a double-page spread of him trying to like hide his true form.
And like get there. Yeah. Like he's trying to weasel him out.
Galactus was a man prior to that.
Which you end up finding out in the next page.
Yeah.
And then their conversation, which I won't talk too much about, was so crucial and so good to this story.
Yeah.
And then just what happened next was so good. I want the next. This was a 5.
The next one's actually the last issue.
I know, but I want it not to end.
I agree. You hit on, I mean, again, without it being said. There's Watcher in this. The art was fantastic. As you know, I love his stuff. And I agree, this was his best issue drawn. Yeah. Not only was this the best drawn issue.
Best written.
Yes. I was about to say, I've been, I wouldn't say lackluster on the story, but it was just like, it was fine.
It was good.
But this issue, like you said, that scene with him and the Galactus's human form. I forgot his fucking name. Hold on, I'm just looking it up. I know it. I just can't recall because it's like something ridiculous. Gallon, yeah.
Gallon.
Yeah.
My name is Gallon.
Yeah.
Galactus.
Yeah. Anyways, that scene is great, but like the conversation that they have at the end there. Yeah. Yeah, I made the book. The
it tied everything together, like everything that they've been amping up to.
Yeah. So I also gave it a 5. It was a good issue.
It was a very good issue.
Okay, so now we're going to get into our favorites of the week. That's it for us for tonight. We also had a few more books. Like, there's a lot of weeks where we do. We always try to set out on a number or see how many we can read to bring that to you guys. So
we kind of found like 5 each is a good.
Yeah, but we'll see. Like I just wanted to mention. I just thought it was worth mentioning because sometimes you'll see other titles that we may have not talked about for a couple months circulate back into the list. That's not to say that we've stopped reading them. It's just that sometimes not everything's worth mentioning.
We read too much.
And there's more books that we read that we can't actually fit within a reasonable hour of the show. So just know that if there's any other books you ever want to get our opinions on that you have heard us discuss on the show, just
let us know.
Yeah, let us know, and then we'll certainly let you know what we think of them. We are definitely going to be in the habit, though, if we ever do say we're going to drop a title, we'll let you guys know on
for sure, and we'll let you know why.
Yeah, exactly.
You go first.
I'm first. I mean, Batman universe. It's because not only was the art phenomenal, I had the most fun with that book tonight. And as you can see, I gave out a lot of 5s tonight. This was a great week of comics. There was a lot of stuff that I liked, but if I'm being honest with myself, again, there's nights.
Well, you even said it in between. You're like, this is always a contender.
It is because it's always
consistent.
Yeah, and I think the first issue was also one of my favorites of the week. The second wasn't, but yeah, it's always in contention because it's always a fun book so far for me. And
the 3 issues, it's been very good.
Yeah.
After talking about everything, and this has just changed in the last 5 minutes, I think you're gonna give Silver Surfer Black.
Yeah, I figured it was. What was it before that, if I may ask?
I was even going between Spider-Man and Venom. Those were 2 contenders for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really liked Spider-Man.
I did.
Yeah.
That gave me, I don't know if it was just because I read it first, but that book gave me feels.
But I mean, if you're gonna compare Trad Moore's art to those other titles,
oh dear God, no!
I was about to say, not only, I know as you mentioned, not only was this his best drawn issue, it was the best written of the series so far.
Was so good.
Yeah. So I agree. You have to give it to that. I that would probably have been my runner-up this week. Yeah.
No, it was just. super duper good.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Batman one too. But it's just one of those ones that's always fun.
Batman loves dinosaurs. That's
Yeah.
what got me.
But you want to.
I know. Runner up, I said, but no, I gotta give it to Batman Universe number 3. Okay, that does it for us this week, though, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in once again. I hope to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think, as always, of the show, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.